This has massive implications for the San Antonio Spurs. Two guys who have been in major slumps, Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell, break out of them in a major way. And we are going to break down how that was done here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys take a spur of the moment to go get every Spurs moment moving forward so you don't miss anything by hitting that subscribe button, the notification bell to know when we upload, because we come to you guys here with content regularly. But let's just get right underway. This guy right here, last night we saw him put on a show in LA, and I just wanted to say, before anything else, I just want to say to everybody who was dealing with the wildfires and everything that's going on in the California area, my condolences to whomever has been lost, and my prayers are with you guys, and the Digest Media prayers are with you guys, because we understand that anything that goes on with you guys, it also can affect us and affect everybody, and we just want to give our prayers, our thoughts, and everything that possibly can be with you. So if you guys, any of you guys are watching this, we are with you 100%. But as we see, back to regular scheduled programming, this guy right here had himself a massive game, and he needed it in a big way. If you go look right here at this is Stefan Castle over the last 2.5, 3 weeks. This has been since Christmas. 6 points, 6 points, 0 points, 15, 8, 10, 10. This was a guy who, when Jeremy Sochan was out, when Devin Vassell wasn't fully back within the rotation, this was a guy who was second in Rookie of the Year because of the way that he was playing and the elite level that he was playing on the offensive side. The defense is always going to be there. The on-ball specialty that he has, he is a special talent when it comes to playing defense, and we know that's going to be the case. But the offense has just not been clicking. We see a 2 of 12, 4 of 10, 3 of 8, 2 of 7, 2 of 7, just can't get it done. And the thing that also was big last night was he was able to get to 23 points without hitting threes. A lot of the games early on in the season was because he was on a little bit of a heater. I know that he doesn't really shoot well from the three-point line. I mean, on the season this year so far, it has been 11 points, 2 rebounds, for about 4 assists, but he's only shooting 25% from the three-point line. So the three-point line, when he was on that heater early on in the season, that was something that we knew wasn't going to last all that long, especially for right now. We thought maybe he turned a corner, but he's back to where he typically was. He was 26.7%, I believe, in college, and now he is at the 25.7%. He's around the same guy. Once he gets going more, we've seen players go from bad shooting percentages to great shooting percentages even. But even if he is good, he'll be a talented guy who can be a multiple-time all-star. But getting downhill on a team that has Anthony Davis who can linger in the paint, this guy right here, we just saw the way he finishes around the basket. The Spurs don't have athletes like this. They don't get athletes like this. They obviously have athletic players. Like Tim Duncan was a more athletic player than anyone will ever give him credit for. He could poster someone or two. Obviously, Manu was athletic in his own way. Obviously, he was just such an unorthodox guy. Tony Parker was an unorthodox guy. The guy we don't speak of who won a Finals MVP. He obviously can body somebody. He's gotten multiple punches, things in. They've obviously had players like that, and then they've had like lower players. But like when it comes to really their high level, high profile guys, they don't get many guys who are out of this world athletic and can really show stop and be skywalkers, especially over the later years. He is someone who can show stuff. He's going to spin the turnstiles just because people are going to want to come see him play. And that is something that once he can hone in that offensive game, it's going to be special, and he is going to be special. We saw LeBron the last time they played. We heard LeBron say, I like to give my thoughts and give my opinions and kind of help guide the players that I think have a lot of potential and can be special, and I think that he is one of them. So if LeBron's seeing it, we know his eye for talent. But we're going to now jump into the other guy. That is Devin Vassell, who had 23 of his own last night. He is another guy who was not playing to the level that we needed. That other guy with him right there, Victor Wembanyama, we know what he is. At this point, it is a given. He's a top 10 player in the game. By the end of this year, he might be creeping into the top 5. He is top 5 for MVP right now for a reason, and their team isn't even in the playoffs. And he's still top 5 for MVP, and that's just showing the complete domination that this guy has on a day in, day out basis. But that Devin Vassell guy, the other guy that we thought, okay, when he is there, that can be the second option. That's a guy who can easily put up 20 a game. That is a guy who can get his shot early on in the season when we were talking about, when he comes back, it's the guy who can get his own off the bounce. And this year, it hasn't been the same for him. But he had 23, 6, and 4. And as you see here, he was not playing well. He had one game against Minnesota in a loss, but other than that, a lot of 4 of 16, 4 of 17, 5 of 14, 8 of 20. Like, he just was not playing at a high level, especially shooting. And right now, he doesn't have the same quickness, but we can see he's still got a little bounce to him. He's still got that bounce. We saw that punch. You saw it right here to start the whole entire thing. He's still got bounce, but on the year, it's 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 43% from the floor, 35.5 from 3. That is something that could be up in that 47, 48 range and that 37 range, and he has the capabilities of doing that. That would bring him probably up to 21 points a game, and we know that that is somewhere that he can be within that frame. He is that talented of a guy. He's that talented of a scorer, and another person who was able to get going in this game, and this was in the second half, and this was the win against the Los Angeles Lakers, 126-102. Massive win. And this has massive implications for the Spurs because, one, every game now matters. I know it's at this point in the season, but every single game now from this point on matters. This is where their playoff push needs to start. It's after the All-Star break. We get it when it really ramps up, but right now matters. You need to put yourself in prime position. The Kings are on a 7-game winning streak. Other teams ahead of you, they're right there, but they're starting to get rolling a little bit. We cannot fall to the point where we are 6 games back of the A7 seed and we're 3 games back of the play-in, and then we have to go on a heater to get into the playoffs. Stay right there to where when you have these big games against the Clippers, against the Rockets, against the Grizzlies, against the Lakers, against the Nuggets, against the Warriors, when you have these big games towards the end of the season, they are you win and you propel yourself up, not you win and you get one game closer to trying to be in the play-in, because they have the opportunity to get in the playoffs, especially with the way, the Warriors just lost to the Raptors. The Lakers are so hit or miss. The Clippers, you don't have 100% faith in them. Like, there's just so many moving parts still in the Western Conference. You keep yourself close and then you got it. And wins like this, especially over a team that's above you, that you are going to be fighting for, get that tiebreaker. Get those wins so you can propel yourself ahead of them and get into prime playoff position. Wemby had 23 and 8. Harrison Barnes had 10 of his 17 in the fourth quarter. The Spurs won 106-102. Obviously, it had to get postponed again. Prayers to everybody who is having to deal with these wildfires, and thank you to the firefighters, everybody who is helping out with these wildfires there. We appreciate you. You guys are the true heroes. We are just the entertainment here. They are watching this, playing basketball, all of that's entertainment. When it comes to real life, none of this matters to that extent. But thank you guys. We appreciate everything that you are doing over there 100%. As we said, Castle and Vassell, 23 each. They went on a dominant 25-9 run in the first 9 minutes to take control of the fourth quarter there. When they go into the period, tied. You just see this. As we know, the Spurs do not start great. They were up 2 after the first quarter. Typically, it's a first quarter thing. But then they did get down. But it was the Spurs in the third quarter, and it was a Spurs barrage in the fourth quarter that got it done for San Antonio. And I love You love to see it, and it's very nice. I love watching the San Antonio Spurs, especially when they're rolling, when they're getting out on the break, when Wemby's doing windmills, when Vassell's punching on people, when they're getting out in transition, Tre ball, corner pocket, Chris Paul's able to orchestrate and do what he does best. When you have all of these things, it makes things just so much fun to watch. I mean, as we said, we talked about Vassell, we talked about Barnes, we talked about Wemby, we talked about Castle. Chris Paul had himself 13 and 10. It was really a starter's game. Again, you're going to have those times where the bench needs to come in. The bench did what they needed to do. Champagnie wasn't hot. Keldon Johnson was efficient. That was good. Charles Bassey gave them some pretty solid minutes. Tre Jones played just fine point guard minutes, did what he needed to do, but overall it was going to be the starting five today that got it done for the San Antonio Spurs, and that is exactly what happened. But these games are just so important. It's all started with Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama, and it went on from there. When Jeremy Sochan gets back, he's going to even be an additional piece to what we have here. And there's one thing I do want to show right here before we get out of here. One, I want to ask you guys, what did you think about this game? How did you feel the San Antonio Spurs played in this game? Do you think they can make a playoff run, a playoff push? What did you guys think about Stephon Castle's and Devin Vassell's games? How much importance do you think these games are going to have on their future season? Do you think this breaks them both out of a big slump? But one thing I do want to show before is look at the vibes. Look at the vibes.
It's been huge. Shout out to all the whole fire department.
100%.
Go Spurs, go. We needed that win. Thank you.
100%. We agree with everything that he had to say there, too. Again, prayers to everybody in California. This has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be seeing all of you guys very soon.